Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. John Humanity here. I got a question in the comments about I'm awake. What do I do now? And what do I do with the information now that I'm awake? And I think this is like a question that is just asked so often by so many people. And I think a lot of people who come across truth and wake up, they wake up slowly. It takes a lot of time. For example, for me personally, it took over 4 years to really wake up, to really discover what truth is and what isn't true, what is true, and sort of test the paradigm that we were taught all through our lives in school. And you test everything over and over, and then you find out this isn't true, this isn't true. Then you find out that like 95% of it's not true. Even like science can't be trusted in a lot of aspects too. I mean, I went to college, so I had like upper level education about psychology and like experimental psychology and stuff, which helped me so much to see the effects that a lot of this has on the brain, which I think really helped to wake up a little bit quicker because I already had a reference point of how the brain really does work. Because that's one of those things where it's sort of a useless degree, really it is. But if it's not useless, the knowledge is not useless because it was funded by the elite to figure out the human brain in totality, essentially. And we still don't know everything that they know. But still, it really just helped to wake up. So anyway, because it takes so much time to really get awake, to really test the whole paradigm, you have to become, your mind has to get to a certain point of where you subconsciously are questioning everything in front of you. This transvestigation thing is a really good thing because now when you go out in the world, you're looking with critically thinking eyes at every face you see. I mean, I think that's the way that everyone is looking, and everyone, their eyes just now are tuned into seeing a brow ridge, to a sloping back forehead, to a jawline, to shoulders, to waist, to everything about the human body, when before they were just walking through life going la-di-da-di-da, which is exactly an awake state that has to be accessed in all aspects of reality, all aspects of life. So when you hear something, you're supposed to be questioning it. When you hear anything, when you hear everything in your head, it shouldn't just go into your head and you respond like a parrot. It should all be questioned, and then every response that you give should be more or less thought about, which is not even a level of awake that I'm at. I would say that like I'm like 80% there. I'm not even at the full like question everything that you see stage. It's just almost everything I see I question, like almost literally. Actually, it's probably like 90%. But really, the hard part for me is the parroting, the sort of responding without thinking. Because whenever you're not thinking and you're doing something that bypasses your higher brain functioning, it's because of base level programming that you've been exposed to, and you're essentially just responding to things based upon the programming that was given to you by the deception and the matrix itself that we've been born into over the first 18 years of your life through school indoctrination. And because you live in a paradigm where everyone is on the same lower level base level of functioning, because everyone else around you is, it sucks you into it as well, which makes it very difficult when you wake up to really connect with other people around you. But I mean, that's not even a huge deal, to be honest with you. It's really not. It's not a big deal that you can't connect with other people, because the reason why you can't connect is because you're not feeding into the reality or the paradigm around you. That's the reason. It's because you can't actually feed into creating the reality that the elite are creating, and that the vast majority of people are creating. But it's very fragile. That reality is fragile, and what you have to understand is that the power of two awake people, truly awake, truly questioning, truly waking up people, not just waking up but really woken up. I'm talking like very awake, very questioning, already at the point of just understanding that most of everything is a deception, that there's even real people in everyday life that are not real people, soulless creatures. We're talking like really deep rabbit hole stuff that you've considered, and it's all a possibility. Everything is a possibility in your mind. That's sort of awake. That's the sort of awake you have to be at to really have a big impact on the matrix itself. Because when you connect with someone else, because this gets into what do I do now, when you connect with someone else who is awake, it's such a powerful thing, because the light that is God, the soul inside of you, that he gave you to live in this reality, to experience through his omnipotence, and through his own want to experience a reality like this, essentially. Because that's my idea. Don't comment upon it, please. If you want to, you can comment. I mean, whatever. Say whatever you want to say. But that's what I think it is that he is experiencing his own creation through us, and we are like a experiment of some sort. It's not even really an experiment, just a part of God that wants to experience a human experience, essentially. And when we die, if we have experienced this and woken up from the deception, the virus that is here, the deception, the satanic deception, we can return to God knowing that we have really cleansed ourselves of being deceived. So anyway, because the light within us is shut by a blanket of darkness or lies, the deception, and we're running on basically the very lowest level of brain function. When you wake up and you turn on all of that higher level brain functioning, those electromagnetic thoughts you have are so powerful, so powerful. You have no idea. I just got chills again down my spine. It's so powerful. And so when you actually combine those electromagnetic thoughts and you connect with someone who is truly awake, who isn't a government shill, who isn't an agent, who isn't someone demonic, essentially, when you really connect with them, it's just amplified so much. It's so powerful because we're functioning on such a low level brain function, and that when we connect with other people on that brain function, it becomes exponential, right? But in the power of logs and exponents is that as they get higher, if you start with a higher number and then you connect with someone else, that number is amplified tons. So let's say it was like you're on a level 1 with another person level 1, essentially, of we're talking about awake state here. So let's the lowest level of brain function, and then you combine together, you still to the first power, to the second power, 1 to the second power is still 1. You're still at the same sort of level of brain functioning, but let's say you're at let's say a base 90 of awakeness, and you connect with someone else who's a base 90 of awakeness. 90 squared is like 90 times 90, 8100. So the entire world is at base 1 of awake state, and you connect with someone who's actually awake with you, and you're both awake. Do you see how powerful that is? It's so powerful, and it's so damaging to the matrix, to the false paradigm, because 8100 versus 1. That's why the truth movement, there is no truth community. That's why there are so many agents and shills, because and they keep us asleep, because if you hear someone that is lying to you, it's still a lie. It doesn't contribute to your awake state, to the paradigm. It still is base 1. That's it. Because it's someone who has not accepted real reality and is on a high level of brain function, or it's a soulless person, or it's someone who has a demonic presence, or is an entity of some sort. That sort of deal. So what do you do when you're awake? You connect with other awake people, and you wake yourself up even more. You do everything that you can to live truthfully, to live honestly, to question everything around you, because the more awake that you become, the more powerful it will be when you connect to another awake soul, and it will shatter the matrix around us. And that's what's so scary for them about people waking up, and that's why they have to hoax news and keep us all in fear level programming and everything like that, because the people who stay on that base 1 of being awake, being totally asleep, combining with everyone in the entire world who's asleep, they still are still at base 1, but a couple of awake people, it's so powerful. It's powerful beyond your belief. It's just incredible what can happen when two awake people connect with each other. And that's what you have to find. You have to get yourself as awake as possible, and then share your knowledge and share conversations about truth with other awake people, because those exchanges, they go into the reality and the virtual reality around us, this matrix. It takes in the information and it changes it. And that's why it's so powerful. And that's what you have to do. What do you do now? You teach yourself everything that you possibly can, and you take all of the expert skills, anything that you know about, and you start connecting those truth dots with it. If you're someone who can sew, you go and you look at the fashions and why they have been used to promote transgenderism. If you can sing like me, you find out what are the secrets to the voice. Why is it something so hidden? Why is it just for entertainment? That's not it at all, you know? If you can play sports, why are these sports? What is the purpose of having sports? Why do we have them? You just question. If you're a builder, what about the masonry techniques of the past? Expose the historical paradigm in that way. If you love, I don't know, if you love art, what is the power of art? What does art make you feel? Why is it there? Why is this creation coming? What does it come from inside of you? Really question it on a deep level, and then connect it to the conspiracy, and then go talk to someone who's also awake. It will put it into the reality. People will wake up based upon the 100th monkey syndrome and the logarithmic idea and exponential power of our thoughts together. That's all you can do. You can wake up and you can find other people that are woken up and share that information. That placing the information in the matrix is the most powerful thing that we as awake people can do. And I'm realizing that very, very quickly. So thank you so much.